Welcome to another episode of the 1 Year No Beer Podcast. Merry Christmas!
Yeah, very special day indeed.
It is a very special day, and we have a very special episode for you today. I'm here with Mrs. Fairbairns.
Mrs. Klaus. I feel a little bit about Mrs. Klaus now because that's Christmas. I kind of go all in on Christmas.
Oh, all in.
Yeah.
You went all in November.
No, I start mentally preparing in November.
Yeah.
I have a strict rule. I don't turn on the lights until the 1st of December. It's kind of a thing in Sweden. Usually it's like the 1st of Advent, but I go for 1st of December, kind of last to 1st of Advent. Which could be end of November. So it depends. But anyone who is Nordic out there from Scandinavia or Germany, you know what I'm talking about.
Just to put it into perspective, we moved house recently, and the largest thing that we had to move is the Christmas decorations. Boxes and boxes of Christmas decorations. So, some of them are here today.
I own that. It's a pleasure being with you here on this Christmas day. And I really do hope that some are listening live. Maybe you're taking a little break from your family, from the eating, from whatever it is that you do on Christmas Day. So we're glad to be here with you.
Yes.
And so today I thought we'd jump into something that I discovered a couple of years ago. And I'm going to be honest that it was my sister in Sweden who introduced me to this game. And we all know how much people love a board game on Christmas, right?
Love a board game.
Who doesn't receive a board game or a card game over Christmas? It's kind of the thing. And there's mostly, I would say, majority of the games that we have received have been drinking games.
Yeah. Well, they usually are drinking.
Yeah, exactly. And so what was so refreshing about this game was that it wasn't about drinking. It was about getting to know one another. And I think in society today, when we have this social media presence, when it's so important, we need to make videos and reels about how we live our life, what we're doing. And I'm sure many have been making loads of videos already, and there's nothing wrong with that. But often we tend to get to know other people that aren't close to us even better because we stop talking to each other and asking each other the important questions and how simple questions like how we are, what's important to us. So I thought I wanted to bring this in today. So let me show everyone what we're talking about. And I thought we'd do a little bit of a showcase of, again, we are not sponsored by these people. This is just a wonderful, wonderful game I wanted to share that it's worth picking up, even in the in-between Christmas and New Year's. Maybe there's still some left out there. And the funny thing is we brought this to attention, and one of the girls here in the office, she's Spanish. She has this game in Spanish also. So it is a very popular game, and it's available in all languages, many languages, I should say. And the game is Vertels. And it's a Dutch game, so I don't know if I'm pronouncing that the right way. Sorry. Vertels. And it's less talk, more genuine conversations. And so we're not going to play the complete games and follow the rules, but I thought we'd dip our hand in.
Sounds like us following the rules.
That's no rules. Boring rules. We do have a sleeping dog here between us.
Yoda's here.
He is not. Yeah, he's not in the Christmas spirit, but he's eaten too much.
Yeah, he's definitely
a little bit of Christmas spirit. So what we want to do is try encourage you all who are listening to connect with those close to you. Ask some deeper questions. Ask some questions that maybe they haven't been asked before, or in a long time at least. Spend some time this Christmas time being more genuine, being more authentic, not worrying about work, money, holidays, and all this stuff that we tend to have conversations around, right? How are you? How is work? Let's ask some genuine questions.
With family members who maybe you don't see that often.
Exactly.
And like you were saying before, you can often get around family members and get triggered by past stuff and things and unresolved things. And then alcohol creeps in. And of course, that dulls your prefrontal cortex, which is where we hold back and make rational decisions. So suddenly we're not holding back anymore, and we're saying some of the things that we feel that we really should say because we don't see them very often. And this is the family bust-ups and the problems and the issues. Well, what about, when you've changed your relationship with alcohol or you're choosing not to drink, what about spending this time, like really asking important questions with family members and enjoying the genuine, deep chat that comes through that? So I'm excited by this game.
Yeah. But and what you say, I mean, I'm sure many people are listening today can relate to what you're saying. I know I can on a personal level, and I'm probably guilty of it as myself as well in my past of keeping things in and then coming to the occasion and having a couple of drinks, and then all of a sudden we feel like we want to speak our truth. And it's not always pretty. We need to be able to have these difficult conversations, share these difficult emotions that we have with our family members or friends in a sober state. But not everyone wants to do that because they're scared of conflict or they're scared of the fallout. But we always encourage that deep conversations and difficult conversations with each other because we do feel a lot better afterwards.
Totally.
So, all right, let's
Just
have a
before we
little
get
bit of
into
fun. Yeah, go.
So what are we doing?
Well, we're not going to follow the rules exactly. Like we said, we don't have rules. But what we'll do is we'll go in the order. And so what the first couple of questions will be around the year in retrospect.
Okay.
So kind of going over what's been in the past year.
Do I have to be honest?
Well, yes, aren't you always? But then, so we look at the past year in retrospect, but then the other one was looking ahead to the upcoming year.
Okay.
And so bear in mind, those who are listening to this, bring these questions with you, write them down. We'll put some of these in notes so that you can go in and find the notes. So you can just copy paste into your phone, so you can just share these around with your family. If you can't pick this up, why not?
I'm nervous now. What's in these questions?
Well, I mean, let's see.
Okay.
But I think it's a loving, good family game. This, so
Okay,
I don't
cool.
think there's going to be anything.
It's not like Grounds for Divorce.
You are thinking about all the games that we have at home in our cupboards, which is all very provocative.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's not mention any, but there are some terrible games out there.
Ones I really like.
Well,
What's that one with the cards with all the
yeah,
Cards Against Humanity? That's
yes,
it.
Cards Against Humanity. I know, but the thing is, it's also a little bit of fun but it's not for everyone. So this is the thing. This is the kind of game that is for everyone. This is very family oriented and loving, genuine game. It says here, less small talk, more genuine conversations. So let's try and be serious.
Let's try.
Let's see if we can. Should I read the first card out to you?
Okay.
The past year in retrospect, what was your biggest mistake? How long do we have?
I have to categorize them now. I mean, there's so many.
Right.
What was my biggest mistake this year? Yeah, I think underestimating what it takes to build a good sales team has been the biggest mistake I have made this year. What a challenge.
You love a challenge, though.
I do. I would be very bored if I didn't have challenges. So yeah. Good. Do I get to ask the same thing of you now?
No, we'll do the boring for people to listen to.
Yeah.
But
your biggest mistake is? I want to hear what your biggest mistake is.
Well, gosh, again, so many.
Yeah.
I guess.
Apart from being married to me.
No, but for me, yeah, sure, I can answer that too. And biggest mistake would be probably thinking that I did not need to time manage or that I didn't need to protect my time as much as I did. I think I got wrapped up in, first of all, the excitement of I love my job. I love being a coach, and I love what our company is doing right now. I love the coaching program, Complete Control, and I've thrived watching it grow. And I think it's very easy to get caught up in that and thinking that the normal rules don't apply. And I really felt like I got so into the growth and the success of everyone coming through there that it becomes very moreish. So I didn't protect myself when it came time-wise and energy-wise.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of those things where hopefully others can relate with, that even when we feel our greatest, our best, that's especially when we need to remember the ground rules as to how to look after ourselves and protect ourselves.
Yeah.
Because it's when we come crashing down or when it's too late, when we go, oh, I messed up.
Yeah.
And I guess that's also learning, right? So
completely.
So I would say that I didn't check my personal six when it came to having my own back with the energy there. And again, just like yourself, there are many mistakes, but I would say that's the one thing that it kind of And it's kind of culminated into this Christmas time. Maybe it's because it's the end of year. I haven't looked forward to a Christmas break as much as I've had this year because I'm like, I'm burnt. Not burnt. I'm not burnt. I'm spent. Spent is a better word.
Ready for rest.
Yeah, ready for rest. All right. We go. Round
This
two.
is for me? Okay.
That one.
In retrospect, what is one of the most valuable lessons you have learned?
Oh. One of the most valuable lessons that everything happens for a reason. I would say everything that happens, there's the saying, everything happens for you, not to you. And that really has been solidified this year because it's been a very steep learning curve for me personally this year. And what I've really learned is that every mistake we make is the most valuable lesson, and a lesson you can't pay for. You can't pay any price for any coursework, any education than what we experience in our life. And I know when we go through things, especially difficult things, it might feel like we're not going to make it through and this is the hardest thing and how are we going to do this? It can be very jolting to us. But when we get past it, we just go, oh, okay, I can see why that happened now. So I can really see how when you find a purpose and you follow that, I like to call it the personal greatness. When we have this pull towards something, we need to keep going and keep showing up. And if we make a mistake, then bring out the learning in that. What is the biggest piece of learning? And so this is funny because this is something I coach people on for years. But I think this year, the self-coaching has become huge because I really had to adapt that and really realize it myself. So that's me.
That's cool. That's powerful.
How about you?
What is one of the most valuable lessons you've learned? I think that I reached out to Rich Roll and ended up getting on the podcast, and I think that's it. Just be relentless. And I know I am that, and I know I am, but sometimes I slow down. So it all just comes in that. Like, never give up. Be relentless. Don't be afraid to ask, and the things happen. So,
am I allowed to ask follow-up questions to this? So, what do you think held you back from, let's say, reaching out to Ritual before, or anyone else? What do you think was holding you back before?
There's time. There's focus. There's too much going on. There's a million things to do, and all of that stuff. And I think this is one of the greatest challenges in the business is. I can get so fixated on fixing the problems of now and right where we are right now, which, is a great challenge, that I don't get time to look up. And, we coach, I know we do coach people on this a lot about, being busy versus actually doing the top line strategy and where we should spend most of our time. But I think, in the nature of the business, which is doubled this year, it's grown significantly. And with that, there's a lot of fires. As always there is, and that's my job as a CEO is putting out fires all the time. So it's hard to look up at the longer term, bigger stuff. But as I see, we've recruited quite a lot of people. The team is built significantly. That I can see that is coming up now, and so I'm going to be doing a lot more. In January we've got Ritual going live. We've got Mind Valley happening, which I'm going over to Dubai to do, and I'm going to be using that as a way to get onto more podcasts, which is so much higher value for the business and increases the reach and things like that. So that was a bit of a long-winded answer, but yeah, I don't know if I could have done anything differently. I just think it's growing a business like that when you're lean. It is a lot of firefighting.
And I feel like we've been doing a lot of firefighting for years now.
9 years.
But it does feel like we're kind of got a little bit of pep in the step right now, which is exciting.
Yeah,
right.
In the right direction.
Which 3 people have influenced you the most?
Do I say you and my 2 little girls?
Would that be very boring if everyone knows?
Yeah. 3 people who have influenced me the most. I think, Dr. Andrew Huberman, which I listen to regularly. When I listen to those, I take notes. I take those notes and I try to implement them into our programs and message them across to team members and say, go and listen to, this section here, and I think this science is really strong. And so, I mean, that's a bit of a North Star for me. I would say that the other podcasts I'm really focused on at the moment, I would say Diary of a CEO. Some of those have been very, very strong from there. I don't listen to all of those. I listen to the ones that feel very relevant. And then I'm not sure I can mention, but we had a guy who has been enormously successful in the US come onto the program, Complete Control. He's built a 100 million turnover business. And when he initially came to the program, he was like, I don't even drink that much. He said, maybe have a glass of whiskey a night just to take the edge off. And then, when I see my friends, it's a few more. And he said to me on the first call, he said, look, if this program has an impact on me, then I think I want to help you guys. Now, he was fortunate enough to coach with you. And in the final call coach with you, he said, I actually think it's my life's purpose to help you guys scale this program. So he has now been coaching me, and his influence is enormous. And
shout out, you know who you are.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you. And I think that, as a CEO of a business, I need my guides. I need my mentors. I am easily influenced. And everyone will give you advice out there. Everyone's throwing advice at you. And if I'm easily influenced, then I end up just getting sporadic and all over the place, and I don't know which direction I'm going, and it's, contravening information. So now I've learned over the years to find a North Star and just go, that's my North Star. And this is who my North Star is for now. So I'm looking forward to next year with his influence, seeing some significant growth.
Not that. He is awesome.
Yeah, he is. And well done to you.
All right. Do I answer the same one as well? Well, to the said, obviously, you have my two girls. Other than that, but I want to mention that because my two girls teach me. So they're 8 and 10, and they are my lights and guiding lights, and they keep me right. They challenge me and they make me want to be better. But and that's not to be discounted. It's very important that I mention that. But other than that, the people that have influenced me the most this year, I would say one is Dr. Gabor Mate, whose work within trauma. We reference him so much in the program only because he is such an important man. His work is so important. And so for anyone not familiar with him, check his work out. He has many books, a lot of content out there. But his work around trauma and us helping us understand ourselves and how we operate in this world. And one of his books, The Myth of Normal, what he says, what is perceived as normal isn't actually good for us or helping us. It's actually breaking us down. It's actually quite rather toxic. But also helping you understand yourself and that person inside. We weren't born adults, we were born children, and we grow. But there is part of us inside that's still hurting. Obviously, this is a lot of the work that I do in my coaching or with trauma-informed coaching. But for me personally also, massive influence for me. Another person that I'm very, very attached to and whose work I also often mention is Brené Brown.
I knew you were going to say that one.
And she's, that there's a question like, who are the 3 people you would take with you on an island?
Oh, yeah.
She's one of my 3.
So cool.
Yeah, because
she's so real.
She's so real. Yeah. And her work focuses around, she's dedicated her last 20 years of her life. She's an American researcher, scientist, doctor, podcaster, author, and all that, because her work within shame and vulnerability is so powerful. And shame is one of these emotions that dominates the world and how we feel, how we show up. And again, something that's referenced a lot in coaching. So I would say Brené Brown. My third person is my coach. Shout out to P. Cohen. He is amazing, and I appreciate you so much. You really have helped me grow this year. And like you said, it's important to have people around you that help lift you up and help call you out when you might be losing your way off the trail a little bit. And so this year I've gone in hard on working with Pete and yeah, it's been an extremely powerful year. So thank you, Pete, if you're listening to this. And I look forward to working more together. But he himself has gone through so much this last year. He lost his wife and has had an incredible journey over the past couple of years. So it's been amazing to see how he goes through that and takes strength from that and still holds space for me and the other people that he work with. The resilience is incredible. So love you, Pete.
Well done, Pete. And just a little note to there is say A, B, C. And Jen is the perfect example. Always be coached.
Yes. All the time.
Both of us with coaches. So multiple coaches, I would say. It was fitness coaches.
Coach, yeah, we've had coaches for everything. We've had parenting coach, fitness coach. I've had a Spartan
Still
coach.
working on the parenting coach.
Yeah, we try.
No, I mean, still more work to do.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Right, a lot of really deep and serious questions.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And so I feel like
Can we get more humor in?
We'll try.
Am I allowed to?
No, we're still going to keep it, this is as a family show. Okay. So we'll just lighten up. What was the best book, movie, or TV series you read or saw in this past year?
Okay, great. Well, I'm not much for TV series, but it said book.
Or movie.
So book, movie, or TV series. The one, so what book? I'm going to go for books. I love books. I read a lot of books. I think we should all read more books. That is my encouragement. And what one book has made the biggest impact on me this year? I reckon I would go for Keith Cunningham, A Road Less Stupid. Did
it work?
Wow, I'm still doing the stupid road. And if you've read the book, I'm still paying the bloody dumb tax. And, this book is so good because he says most entrepreneurs are making decisions that make them then have dumb tax. And what we're missing is, he's like, if you made less bad decisions, you'd be hugely successful, which is the premise of the book. So make less bad decisions. I think is the key thing. Guess what alcohol does, right? Alcohol helps you make bad decisions. It literally dulls your prefrontal cortex. So I don't have that excuse this year because I've hardly drank this year. So it's not alcohol that's made me make the dumb decisions. It's rushing too fast. I'm still guilty 9 years in, and everyone's being the same thing. Like, slow down, stop making rush decisions, stop paying the dumb tax. So, big fan, Keith Cunningham. I've met him, lovely man. Great book, A Road Less Stupid. Thank you. What about you?
Awesome.
Shall I read it out to you?
Sure.
What was the best book, movie, or TV series you read or saw?
Well, you went from books, so I'm going to go for TV series.
Yes.
And I do love a good series. So, it's a toss-up. I'd like to... one is a real-life documentary, The Crown. I'm joking. I know. Yeah. I know it's based on, a lot of hearsay and stuff. However, I really love learning about it, understanding a little bit more in depth of maybe what might be going on behind the doors of The Crown. But I think my favorite, hands down, series of the year is Ted Lasso. And I didn't think I would enjoy it because, hey, it's a series around football, but it's not really. There's a lot of life lessons in there, a lot of good. And I have to say there's been a lot of really good references from clients in coaching who often reference this quoting stuff from Ted Lasso. So a heartfelt, good watch, I would say. It's a lot of really good humor. Yeah. So I would recommend that too. Two British series. I usually love the American series. Look at me.
There you go. Is Ted Lasso British?
He is
American football, no?
No, it's about American football coaching a British soccer team.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So, it's hilarious already just saying that, but it's brilliant. But yes, he is indeed American, and yeah.
I think as well that kind of sums me up because I went straight for a business book, having talked about business before, and that's pretty much 99.99999% of where I spend my thinking and time.
Yeah. No, I know. Well, this is the thing. I do also read books, and I do also do a lot of that learning, but I also need to find time for myself and switch off, and life can get so serious otherwise. I feel like sometimes we also need to have a little bit of fun, a little bit disconnect to the seriousness of things.
More fun.
More fun,
2024.
more joy. All right, good. So those were the questions about the year in the past. I mean, we're going to be all day. No. So should we have a little look around?
What's next?
Looking ahead to the upcoming year.
I read out this one to you first.
No, I'm going to read it out so you answer this one.
Okay. Oh.
My turn. So looking ahead to the upcoming year, for what will you congratulate yourself a year from now?
Wait, that was a lot. So looking up to the year ahead, in a year from now, what will I congratulate myself for? Okay, being on the Diary of a CEO.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, that's happening. It's just in the vision. Stephen is in that.
We have met Stephen.
Yeah, we did.
I met Stephen twice, and he has been just as lovely. I mean,
Lovely
the
guy.
queue of people queuing up to say hi to him, and the effort he makes with each person, it's admirable. I have so much respect and love for this human being and for the work that he's doing. So,
Yeah.
Stephen, we think you're awesome.
Yeah,
And
looking forward to the interview.
I'm looking forward for you to make Ruari live on.
Yes, exactly. Tell me about your trauma, Ruari. How long have you got?
No, but it's I like that. That's good. For what would you congratulate yourself a year from now, Jen? Oh, a year from now, I'm going to say, wow, Jen, well done for getting into a proper meditation routine.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yes. This is amazing. And this, I always say this, just because we're coaches doesn't mean that we have our house
It all
in order
figured out.
No, by no shape or form. We're all learning. We're all humans. Humans, we're flawed, and we can't have everything figured out. And so meditation is one of these tools that I know how I coach people on this, not on meditation specifically, but saying how important it is to implement meditation. And I do it sometimes, but I tend to do it when I need it. I would like to have a little bit more of an ingrained meditation practice where it's kind of as automatic as brushing my teeth or having, my breakfast or getting my workout in.
Yeah.
And this is what I coach people on. But
Totally.
you know what they say, those who can't do teach. But a year from now, I want to feel a lot more calmer and a lot more in touch with my nervous system because of my meditation.
Yeah.
So
I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I've seen you go, a lot of resistance in the beginning to meditation when I was really going deep into it. Then you picked it up. Muse was a big thing. You built the habit. It calmed everything down significantly. And you've had a crazy year. Like, it's been crazy, and it gets pushed by the wayside. And I think that's what happens, right? But we need to do it, and you know how much it helps with everything else. So, yeah. What about, will you join me in the pool?
in the icy pool.
Yes.
Yeah, an ice bath. I have no problem with jumping into an ice bath.
It is an ice bath.
If there's a sauna right next to it.
You can get in the shower afterwards.
I don't know. People just assume I'm Swedish, so I like the cold. I don't like the cold. Swedish people don't like the cold. We don't have much choice.
Yeah.
So we like being wrapped
But
up.
this is another thing where we can't ignore the
I
science.
know. The science is proven. I get that. I think if there was like a dedicated ice bath, like the cold plunges are becoming a thing now. Just jumping into our pool.
We don't need that now.
Ice
It's
over
perfect
head.
temperature. Just so you know, it is 13 degrees. That is perfect. The perfect temperature is between 10 and 15. It doesn't have to get much lower. And more importantly,
I'm just making excuses.
you are. It's right there. It's on the doorstep. It's nice and easy to use. And more importantly, it is what we know now as one of the most powerful antidepressants we have available to ourselves.
Mm.
So let's use that. Like that and exercise are the two most powerful antidepressants we have. Let's stop taking silly pills. Let's get cold and exercise. Anyway.
Right. Should we do one more? I have to say that this is a fun game. Oh, we just kind of covered this. Do you mind if I just have a little sneak peek? Oh, here we go. I like this one. This is a good one. Sorry, I'm cheating now. Don't do this if you're actually playing with your family. But looking ahead to the upcoming year, to whom do you want to give more attention?
You.
Good answer.
I mean, Yoda does not need any more from me.
No.
He's attached to me 24/7.
Yes.
He spends his time on my lap when I'm at the office. He pretty much sleeps next to me in bed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, absolutely.
So
more time than my family.
More
Can I start with wife?
Yeah, that's good. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Are you going to hold me to that now?
Yes, for sure. It's here. It's not recorded. So if next year's episode, if I'm here alone on the sofa, he didn't fulfill his promise.
Yeah.
So
I'm not offended if you don't say the same. You don't have to say the same.
I feel boring.
If you'd rather spend more time with anyone else, I'd understand.
I think I want to give more attention to my girls.
Yeah.
And this is where we do have great connection with our kids. Our kids are amazing and we do a lot with them. But I think I want to give them a little bit more attention as they grow, because they're it's hard being a parent and going through the younger years, and it's very taxing. But they kind of coming into an age now where they're 8 and 10, going on 11, and they're turning into these little human beings full of conversations and learnings, and they're so switched on. And so I want to dedicate more attention to them in tweaking now, because the groundwork is done, but I think tweaking their personalities. And I think we had a wonderful email randomly from the head teacher of the school the other day, which was wonderful, that our oldest daughter had just surprised her, popped in to ask her questions about her favorite chocolate, and she's now put together a list of all the teachers' favorite chocolates, so they're going to go and treat them as a present. But she returned that gesture with emailing us and saying that, she'd come in there. And she didn't tell us she was doing this. This is just something that she's come up with.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, we're not
the head teacher was like, your daughter is so kind and friendly and polite. And we're like, can she be like that at home? No.
Well, they need to test the boundary somewhere.
Absolutely.
But again, we're not sitting here saying, hey, our kid is amazing. She is, but everyone's kids are amazing. But this is it. Just trust that the work that you're doing, as long as you feel like you are doing your best and trying to install good habits and values in your kids, trust that that's working, even though they might not show that to you at home. But it's nice to hear it come back from somewhere else, right?
Totally.
So I want to give them some more attention this next year, and just let them continue to guide me, because they call me out. They're like, Mom, I was in the car with her a little while ago, and I was sitting in the car, and I go, it's always stressful. I mean, who isn't stressed leaving for school sometimes, right? Sometimes everything is going well until the 5 minutes before you're leaving. But I'm in the car and I'm breathing, and I'm just like, sorry, got a little bit rushed there. I didn't mean to do stress and probably raise my voice. And I said, I do apologize. It's all me. And my daughter goes, it's okay, Mom. You're just not very good at regulating your emotions.
I love that.
And I went, you're right.
Well done.
So right. So, I want to spend more time with them, and now we'll start having different conversations.
Yeah. I heard this amazing phrase, which is now a rhetoric in my head. And there is no difference between attention and love to a child. Right. And so if I'm staring at my phone and watching TV with them, right, or whatever it is, then I know I just got to keep playing that in my head. Like, to a child, there's no difference between attention and love. So I'm with you on that one. I'm going to join you on that one for sure.
We spent 75% of all the time that we will ever spend with them. 75.
That's depressing.
I know. And is it something?
Well, it's also, I mean, unless they stay at home and don't get a job and all of that kind of stuff, then you'll be on the average of having them a lot longer. So it's probably a good step.
Yeah, no, for sure. But that's something just to remember, that it's precious time that we won't get back. We will see them later, but it will be scattered and a bit more distracted.
Yep.
So going in on it, and our biggest one, she turns 11 tomorrow. My gosh, goodness me. So yeah, that's a little insight.
Let's pause just for a brief moment. I just want to share with you some of the heartfelt feedback from our incredible Complete Control community members. Listen to this.
I don't know how I signed up. I think I just got an ad on Instagram and just got a whim, just hit the button and did a call and then signed up and didn't really consciously think much about it. And then after that, I was like, what did I just sign up for? Wait a second here. Like, far exceeded my expectations. I'm usually extremely skeptical, so I don't know how I even signed up in the first place, but whatever it was. So it's just amazing how, like, the transformation that I've seen, and even the drinking part is just kind of it was the Achilles heel, but it's kind of just the superficial problem. And it's like, once I kind of clear that up, there's so much more possibility. And the exploration discussions with Gary, with Candace have just been so powerful, and they both kind of focus on a different area. And then with Glenn kind of looking at my data, and with my cohorts or classmates, or, it's just been everything has just been so powerful and kind of supportive of, completing the whole picture of how I do this. So just really grateful, and also just feel more grateful, and not only just for all of you, but just in life in general. It's just a little bit more clarity and peace and calm and so forth. So
I am incredibly grateful for this entire program, everybody on this call, and everything that we were able to experience. I think that it delivered more than I expected. Honestly, I like I've said before, I've done a couple of challenges and different things, and I think that this, beyond examining my relationship with alcohol and making, I think, pretty good strides in staying alcohol free. I think it taught me a ton about myself and how to examine my habits and my thoughts and those kind of patterns and ways to approach the things that worried me the most in this experience have just been invaluable. I think I'm leaving feeling stronger in general, more self-aware in general, and just really more anchored in who I want to be and what my values are, and how I can, take better steps to achieve those. So it's been fantastic for me. And then again, our team, I really appreciate all the feedback and support from every single person on this call, but my cohort as well. It's been great.
So I love everybody that I've met here. I have loved the program. I am not an emotional person like this, but this has changed my life. It has given me a life. And there's other things I need to do too. But I don't have to do with alcohol anymore. So thank you.
It's been an amazing journey, and I appreciate the professionalism. Whenever I feel the stress, there's something that I can go back to everybody, and the sharing from everybody, and the professionalism of the program. So I loved it, and I've grown a lot. So, loves and kisses.
One word is transformational. That's a word that's been bandied about for decades, but in this, it is absolutely accurate. If I was to use one word, this was a great investment. It's not self-help, it's self-realization. It's super powerful, but it exceeded my expectations. Or maybe it was Sharon who said that, or maybe I'm exceeding my expectations, and I like that.
I mean, the program has been I'm hugely grateful for the program. I think the journey for myself has been amazing. I mean, I remember telling, I don't know if it was Candace or Gary, the first 3 or 4 weeks of the program, I was like, I can't stop thinking about not drinking. It's in my head. Every day I'm thinking about not drinking. And it's like now I'm not even thinking about it. It's just like my life has sort of stepped on. I'm excited about the future. Things are looking good.
I just love sharing the things people are saying about our complete control program. Okay, let's get back into the episode.
Now, I did a little sneaky pre-look. We've done a lot of questions that I kind of pre-looked on this game before, because I wanted to. They have 2 jokers in their color, okay. So someone can pull these out, and I thought this would be a good way to wrap things up with. And basically, it's the same questions: the past year in retrospect, and looking ahead to the coming year.
Yep.
No question.
Okay, great. So I'll take one and you take the other.
Yeah. So it's just should we
shuffle them around.
Oh, producers, we don't know what's going to happen. You're counting them. I can see you. You're like, oh no.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted.
Okay.
Okay. So the past year in retrospect. the past year retrospect, what did you do to advance our relationship this year?
Our relationship as partners.
Yeah.
Did a meditation.
Still here. Held on for dear life.
Held on for dear life. What did we do? Well, I think having honest conversations, bringing up what's on my mind when it's on my mind. If I wasn't happy, if I wasn't happy with something, if something didn't feel right, I didn't let it build up. And I think that's kind of been my pattern before of letting things kind of fester and grow inside of me to a point where I get really upset and or either walk off, shout, or get really angry or something, right? Which has been a big pattern in the past for me because I haven't been very good at dealing with my emotions or saying what's on my mind or feeling like I was allowed to. And that had nothing, no reflection on you, but my own way of being. So I think this year I've been better at communicating what my needs were and what wasn't really working on both sides. And I think I was better at responding to your communication about this as well. We did a little couples retreat, you and me, for a night away, which was awesome. And we've done some therapy together as well.
I was going to mention that.
Okay, well, I'm mentioning it now, so you asked me the question. So we've done some therapy together, and I in coaching, and I will say this, often do I have people that come into coaching who is either resistant or willing, and their partner might be unwilling to go to therapy because that person or their partner sees couples therapy or couples coaching as a failure. And it couldn't be anything further from the truth. It's a wonderful way to actually understand what's going on, and rather than calling it quits, do we want to call it quits, or is it just a matter of communication? And so I think this year, I would say communication between us has been the main driver for this.
Amazing. Good. Totally. And am I also answering? What is the one thing?
Yeah.
We're just doing that.
Exactly. But you have to
I think it's
rephrase the question because I can't remember what it was.
What one thing have I done to advance our relationship this year? And I think it's the same thing. I'm just going to add one word onto that, and that's the psychedelic therapy that we've done together. I think it's incredible to go through those experiences together with you, and I think it is amazing when you go do that, you remove all the surface level barrier bullshit, and what you're left with is two people who love each other, who want to figure out a path together forwards. And I think there's nothing quite like it. I think that's been the thing that continues to advance us the most. So yeah, I guess the big thing here is for people, it's not sitting in a place where you are fighting out over who did the dishes or didn't, or whether you took the trash out or whatever. All that's not what's going on.
No,
it's like you need to figure out if you still want to be together and if you still share a vision together of the future. And if that's true, then all that other stuff is just, it's not that there's belittled bullshit, but it's stuff you can figure out through communication. But I think it's taking the time to be clear on the...
Yeah, and also I think the one thing that people often don't consider is that you have two people from two different backgrounds, different stories, different traumas. And sure, there would be some people who say, well, I didn't have a lot of trauma, but it doesn't matter if the other partner, let's say, has trauma. We always say, if you're living and breathing, you have trauma to some shape or form. You might not be aware of what it is, but this is something we see in our complete control program where...
the people who come in and say, I don't have any trauma, you're like, okay, just wait.
Yeah, And so when we put two people together and you don't consider the fact that the way that we operate, the baseline, our beliefs and values might be completely tied to something that happened to us a long, long, long time ago. So we become adults and we move forward and we think that, no, this is who I am and I've gotten past that now. We might have gotten past it in our mind, but our body does not forget. And there's a wonderful book for anyone interested called The Body Keeps the Score by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk.
The other leader, trauma.
One of the leaders in trauma work. And we really carry that, and this is in our body. And so when a partner says something or share something that they're feeling, the other person might take it very personal, or it might trigger something innate in them, and they don't even know why they react that way. And add alcohol to this, and we have an absolute, sugar storm.
Yeah.
So, I think what the psychedelic therapy really does is helps you connect with that authentic side which is not filtered. It's just you're able to really feel the feelings and honor what you're feeling and release them. I think that's the biggest thing for me, was I released so much of the trauma that I had, many different traumas, I would say. And I've done so much trauma work myself before, in talk therapy and whatnot, and coaching. This was another level, I would have to say, that has released so much of it. And I am not shy to talk about this, because I think it's important to hear. And it's to be said that it's not to be recommended to anyone going out and do this on their own. I mean, for us, it's always clinical settings, using the therapy under supervision.
Professionals.
So, but I had a lot, after giving birth to my daughters, I had postnatal depression, which I hid very well. And I had to take antidepressants for quite some time, and I didn't want to, but every time I tried to step away from them, I was unable to, and I couldn't understand why. Speaking to doctors, and obviously during pandemic, this was all done over the phone, which is also quite scary, because how do you give someone a diagnosis over the phone? But they said I most likely had something known as PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder. I think that is the full length of it.
Yep.
And it was really affecting me. So my menstrual cycle was chaotic and really dark. And so I did decide to go and have an experience with psilocybin, again, guided. And I remember connecting with myself very deeply as a little girl. And I went into this kicking and screaming, I'm going to say. I was very resistant. I was very like, no, not sure. And I think what felt like hours was probably an hour of me sitting quietly to myself, meditating or something. But what I did see was I connected to a part of me that was so sad when I was little, the sadness. I don't think I have a great overview of what my childhood was, but I didn't realize how sad I was. And I think seeing myself in that light was, I guess, what I needed to see. Because I remember then, about a week later, I remember brushing my teeth, and in the bathroom cabinet, I saw my medication standing there, and I went, hang on a minute, I haven't taken my medication in a while. And anyway, I haven't since. And this is almost, it's a year and a half ago now. I haven't had an anxious day. I drink too many coffees, I get a little bit jittery. Do I have moments where I can feel stressed? Yeah, but the anxiety, which was to some extent crippling for me, is gone. And again, this is not a solution for everyone. It's not,
It will be soon.
But it also shows that it not everyone takes to psychedelic therapy or psilocybin,
experiences.
Exactly. And so this is not one size fits all. So I think that's important to keep in mind. But for me, it's done wonders. So yeah, it's definitely a part of where we're moving right now when it comes to treating trauma and depression, all that. And so
totally very excited about the future there.
Looking ahead to this upcoming year.
Will you do less of?
Looking ahead to the upcoming year.
Mm-hmm.
What will you do that is really unexpected by anyone? Maybe even yourself.
What will I do which is unexpected of everyone, and maybe even myself? Triple the business? Or is that expected by myself? What will I do? Make better decisions, which would shock everybody, I think. There's a part of me that says, well, you won't. The parts of those vision that you're trying to achieve are much further down the road. So they'll be in year 4 or year 5 or year 6. So I could pull those forward. It would be a huge surprise if I achieved the be on stage with Tony Robbins in 2024. We can all sit around here and say that's unlikely and probably won't happen. But it's in my visualization in the morning. So if I achieved that in 2024, I think everybody would be shocked. Is that fair?
Like, yeah.
So yeah.
Like that. Thanks. Okay. So same question.
I need to ask the question for you.
Yeah.
So the question is,
what will you do this year that is unexpected both for me and for others? I don't know. I've been thinking about this for a little bit actually, because I feel like I have this very familiar narrative of what fun is, what my routines are, etc. And I mentioned I want to meditate, but I kind of want to do something unexpected. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to take a motorcycle license because I don't want to, but I'm kind of like, maybe I do want to get a motorcycle license this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So cool.
And I think that would
be expected by
anyone, because I've always been like, oh, motorcycles are bad for you.
Yeah, they are.
I know, but so is many other things. But so it's I guess
it depends how you ride them.
Careful. Yeah, exactly. So maybe this within year that I get a motorcycle license.
That'd be super cool. Yeah. Is that midlife crisis?
If this is the crisis, I can. You know what I did? When I turned 40 that year, I decided I was competing in Spartan. I was going to try and qualify for and compete in the Spartan Ultra World Championship, which is a 24-hour race in the snow. And everyone said I was crazy, and they were like, oh my gosh, you're having a midlife crisis. And I'm like, if I'm having a crisis, I'm in. Like, this is great.
Yeah.
And I think there's this thing of people who are just comfortable and to be okay with medium in between. Like, I remember people calling me overachiever and all those things because I was doing this. And it's like, okay.
Because they're happy with medium.
Because they're happy with medium. And that's okay. I don't judge that. But I say to anyone out there who feels like, I want to do something, but, am I too old for this? Or, no, you're not. If there's anything in your body that you want to do that you still haven't done, and just go do it. Doesn't matter what age you're at, and don't worry what others are saying.
Exactly. Break through that.
Because at the end of the day, who are going to be standing there cheering for you, at the end of it, doesn't matter, because you are the one who's going to get older, and eventually, we talk about in coaching a lot memento mori. I mean, the only thing certain in life is death and taxes.
Taxis. Taxis are never certain.
Not in Spain. But death and taxes. But so we just need to remember to embrace everything, because before you know it, that's the end of the line. And what regrets do we not want to have? To sum things up, this is Vertels, and I would say that this is
Vertells. Vertels. It actually says VERTELL ? S.
Yeah, it could be.
So, could be. So, yeah.
Vertellis.
Oh, Vertellis.
See, I don't have my glasses. This is what happens.
I checked that. I checked that.
Vertellis.
It's got a love heart on it. If you're not watching this, it's a black box with cards. Fun game. Go get it.
Go get it. Hopefully you have enjoyed our little conversation about some little sharing, exactly. And why don't you go and ask your loved ones or your friends these kind of questions? We'll put these questions in. We'll detail this in the show notes so that you can go and find them. But ask deeper questions, and most of all, look after each other, care for each other, love each other, and be kind to one another.
And if you are doing this alcohol-free or in control or drinking way less than you normally would, then you are amazing. Just keep flying that flag. Keep showing people there is an alternative way. Keep inspiring others. It's one of the best things that we can do for ourselves and for people around us.
And
so well done.
If you're watching this and you're hungover and you're like, oh my goodness, this is hard to hear, you are also important, and you're also amazing because you're here. You are trying to make a change for yourself, and we stand for you. I stand always for your greatness, because we all have that pull inside of us to our personal greatness. Just keep following me, keep pushing.
Yes, and we're here to support you. If you need more help, we're here.
Absolutely.
All right, well, happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.